Hello and welcome to today's virtual card and a cuppa with me, Fiona Whitten. So this morning I was over at the Grange Chocolate Cafe over in the Home Grange Craft Village, and I took with me all the kits for this month and met up with some lovely ladies, and we had great fun making a card and enjoying a hot drink. So this is the kit that everybody had for this morning. Let me just double check that I am live here, and it looks like I am, which is good. She says, I think so. Yeah, there we go. I think so. Right, if I stick my hands in front, and then I'll know if I am or not. It says I'm live. Anyway, so this was the kit that everybody got for today. As always, an envelope. There was a, this is balmy blue, so there was a balmy blue card base with a piece of basic white for the inside. Then there was a panel of Misty Moonlight. So this is one of the returning colours. It had actually retired a few years ago, and it's now come back as part of the colour refresh. So it's slightly lighter than Night of Navy. And if I show you it against Night of Navy, you'll see. So this is the Misty Moonlight, and that's Night of Navy. So there is quite a difference. Although when you look at it by itself, you think, oh, it's just like Night of Navy, but actually it's not. Anyway, so there was a piece of Misty Moonlight. There was then a die-cut piece of balmy blue, a piece of basic white, which was die-cut and then embossed. And it's important to do it in that order. If you emboss it and then die-cut it, you will flatten the embossing. So if you die-cut first and then emboss, you then have a nice crisp embossed area. There is a piece of the countryside in 12 by 12 paper, and there was also a square of basic white for sentiments. So today's card and a cuppa kit, basically, I took with me the Countryside Corners bundle and the Countryside Blossoms embossing folder. Now, I'd actually already die cut and embossed everything beforehand, but I took this with me because I wanted to show how this whole thing works. When I first opened it up, it took me a minute to actually realise that this is actually one stamp. So the idea is that you will stamp this onto your piece of cardstock, and then you can use the dies to cut whichever layer you want. You could cut all these individually. So these are the dies, and as you will see, each will then fit around. So that will do that one, the next one, etc, etc. So if you're really brave, you can actually die cut them all together. You would need some low tack adhesive in the form of some tape or washi tape or something like that, just to make sure that these didn't go walkabouts whilst you were trying to die cut it. So if you're using the larger ones, you would actually have to use the full size Stampin' cut and emboss. If you're just using the smaller ones, then those will go through the mini. So that's what those look like. And I've just got here, so I use these to make a card. So as you can see, the whole image is stamped, and then I die cut out that middle, and then this one, this is actually boho blue, so that's one of the new in colours, and then I die cut the middle out of that. So I could actually layer these if I wanted to, so that I could then have a white. So you can keep using these until every single bit is used up. So don't waste any of this. So you could put them together in whatever order you want to. Obviously, I would have to die cut this bit better because I managed to get a smudge on there. So that's another card front that I could very easily use. So that's the bundle. You can get the stamp and the dies separately, but obviously if you get the bundle, then you save 10%. This is the embossing folder that also goes with it. So this is the Countryside Blossoms folder. When I was using this, I was trying my hardest to get everything so that it was the same top and bottom. And then I actually realised that, I don't know if you can see, that the image is not the same top and bottom. So at that point I gave up, and I was just simply putting the white through and embossing. And I might, okay, you could get 2 in at a time, so I only had to run it through like 12 times rather than 24 times. So just be aware of those of you who are really a stickler for having everything just so. The pattern top and bottom are different. Side to side, they're the same. So you can see you've got this flower and this flower, leaves. So it's okay side to side, but top to bottom, no. So don't get too hung up on that if you suddenly start thinking, oh, I'm doing this wrong, because you're not. That's just how it is. And then the Countryside in paper is really sweet. I love this paper. So you'll find the whole suite on pages 62 and 63 of the new annual catalogue. So this is the Countryside in paper. So we have sweet little bunny rabbits on one side of this one, with some rather nice lined images. I don't know if you can see, we've got like little flowers and little V shapes. So hopefully you can see that. So that's one. We have sheet that has birds on it. So we've got little birds on one side, and then on the other it's dark. So this is Night of Navy. So the paper coordinates with boho blue, basically all the blues. Boho blue, Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy. What else? Something else. I'll figure it out in a second. So it is Balmy Blue, Misty Moonlight, Boho Blue and Night of Navy. So those 3 blues. Rather like this. Though it does kind of remind me of wallpaper. But hey. And then again we've got stripes, and this one we've got dots on. So we've had rabbits, we've had birds. Then we have foxes. So we've got some sweet little foxes. I don't know about you guys, but we have the foxes running around by us at the moment, and my goodness, do they make a heck of a noise at 4 o'clock in the morning. I suspect that there are some babies somewhere, but we haven't seen them yet. Anyway, and then the 5th one has, oh, did I show what was on the back of this? So yes, spots. Oh, actually it's not spots, it's little flowers. And then we have trees. I can't decide whether this one or this one are my favourite. So we have the trees, and again we've got, actually this is like little flowers as well. You can see, hopefully you can see, they're like little tulips. And then the last one, which is the paper that I used for the kits, it has a white background. So we have 2 pieces, or two designs with white backgrounds, and the rest of them have blue backgrounds. So that's what it looks on from the side that we use, and then the other side is Night of Navy and Misty Moonlight, again in a little pattern. So that's the paper. So the bundle, or the stamp set, the dies individually or as a bundle, plus the embossing folder, plus the paper, you can get all together as a suite. You do save 10% on the bundle, but everything else is just under one code, just for ease of ordering. But obviously you can then just, if you just want the paper and the dies or whatever, then that's what you can order. So it's really up to you. But so page 62, 63 of the new annual catalogue. Yes, I can actually open it and show you now. Maze balls. So that's that. And then I guess you kind of want to see what I took with me by way of samples. So I took 3 samples with me. I have to remember which order they go in. Right, so this, because the stamp doesn't have any sentiments, I took sentiments with me. So for this I opted to use the Charming Sentiments stamp set, which looks like this. It also has dies with it. Now, it was available as a bundle, but now I'm afraid it's only available as individual items. But getting the bundle, getting the 2 items together really does make sense, because you've got these great sayings, sentiments, but the dies, of which there are many, in fact there are 30, cut out each of the sentiments. So each of these is designed to cut out one of the sentiments. And then you have some additional ones. So you have like butterfly, makeup butterfly, hearts, stars, sunshine type thing, dots, candle. So this is the one, that one, and the thank you, which I think was this one. So it doesn't look like it would actually fit, but that is the die for that, and it fits perfectly. So of course you can fussy cut if you really want to, but I much rather die cut, so I took these with me for the sentiments. And I also took with me the Petal Park stamp set and the coordinating punch, and again this was a bundle. And sadly now the individual items, they are in the catalogue. They did carry over, which is nice. But again, you would have to purchase them individually rather than as a bundle. So this, as I said, was the first card. And see, look, those dimensional backings get everywhere. Let's move that one out of the way. I'm sure I'll find some more. So I started off, I was going to say I simply glued the Misty Moonlight piece on, but I didn't. What I did was I took a ruler and a pencil and I drew a line from that corner, so the bottom left to the top right, drew a line. I then took my strip of Countryside in paper and I cut it in half. And then I simply glued one piece down this end and one piece down that end, making sure that the middle piece was central on the line that I had drawn. So long as you keep this right on the point and this piece on the line, and then similarly that with that, you know that you will have what will look like a straight diagonal. It won't be that one's not coming out here and that one's not coming out there. If you were to draw a line, you would actually be able to follow it through. So that's what I did with that. So there's actually a gap here, but I'm not worrying about that, because basically we are simply gluing then the balmy blue cornered rectangle and the embossed piece of basic white onto the top. Stamped the sentiment, die cut it, and then with the piece I did actually manage, believe it or not, to get both the thank you sentiment and the flowers on this piece of paper, cardstock, and punched them out and then glued those two together, and then I just put the 3 flowers. So the outline is Misty Moonlight and the inside is the balmy blue. So that was the first card. And I decorated the envelope, as I say before. You have to decorate the envelope. This was my second card. Kind of went a little bit pieced on this one. I think this one I was yesterday when I was making it, it's kind of making it as I was going along, and I couldn't decide what I really wanted to do. And then I settled for this, and this is not quite my favourite, but it's close second favourite card from this group of 3. So I took the piece of Misty Moonlight and cut it in half, glued it to the card base. I then used this small stamp from the Petal Park stamp set, and simply used Misty Moonlight and stamped all over there. The piece of Balmy Blue is glued on. Then I've added this embossed piece using some Stampin' dimensionals, and then I punched out the flower. So I punched this out from this piece that I had left over. Put my sentiment on. Again, that would have to be stamped across the middle, sort of on the diagonal. And then, because I didn't use my strip of paper, I cut it in half and put half inside my card and half on the front of the envelope. So I did actually use all of it, just not necessarily in the way you probably would have expected. And then this is my 3rd card, and kind of my favourite actually. Now, as you'll see, it looks like the whole of the Misty Moonlight cardstock panel is actually glued onto there. I was a bit cheeky in that I cut it in half, and then I punched out my flowers from the 2 halves, glued them onto the card front, and then when I put the piece of double-sided paper over it, you can't tell because obviously it's covering where I'd cut it. Then instead of using the Balmy Blue cornered rectangle, I just decided I wasn't going to use it. So I just put my piece of embossed paper, stamped my sentiment, cut it out, and then added 2 flowers. And then again, I just put the little flowers on the inside of the card and on the envelope. So those were the 3 cards that I took with me this morning. And I think it was quite a few people made that one, in that they like the idea of having it going from corner to corner, and quite a few people made that one. Not so many that one, but hey, that's okay. The whole idea is that I take these as inspiration, and people do not have to follow my cards exactly. They can do whatever they want to do, within reason, of course, and within the parameters of the items that I have taken with me. Obviously, I can't spirit up something that I don't have with me and let them use it. Although this morning, I have to admit, I did have to go and do a quick run home because I forgot the keys. Don't know how I managed it, but hey, it's just one of those mornings. I managed everything else. I had my mini stamping cat and emboss. I had my rulers and all that sort of thing. But yeah, kits, kind of important things. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do today or this afternoon for the 4th card? And I don't really know. I don't know that I want to use everything. I do so I've got my Misty Moonlight ink pad. I've got Balmy Blue. And I do have Night of Navy with me, but I'm not sure that I will use it. I think I might just still stick to those 2. I did grab a different stamp set, she says. There it is. No, that's not it either. Yes, I did. So I actually grabbed just now the Sentimental Park stamp set because I wanted to use a thin. I've decided I'm going to use the big stamp, but I'm only going to put it on here. I hope. I guess I could put it on here, but I'm going to stick it on this. I'm going to stamp on here with that big stamp. And you do need a big block for this. It is a big, it's a huge, it's large. Let's see. I usually have these blocks holding up my stand for my phone that I use as my camera. But hey, normally I would simply have a big piece and then I would simply stamp on that. But let's see. I know I can get those two on, so that will be all right. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to stamp the sentiment just yet. So I'm going to stick with my Misty Moonlight. And I'm just going to... Now this could get messy because I'm not going to be using or wanting these pieces, but I do want those two pieces that are in the middle there. So I'm going to put that on like so, and then I'm going to get another bit of grid paper. Because I want to put a little bit of weight on there, but I don't want to get the ink on my hands. So I'm just going to use this bit of grid paper and make sure that that ink is transferring onto that piece of cardstock. Like that. See, that's the bit that I didn't want on my fingers. Okay, right, we should just about be okay to cut that out. So I've got the little flowers and I've got the dots. This is like a little row there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the happy birthday now in the middle. And this is where I'm glad that the Sentimental Park stamp set is photopolymer, because it means that I can simply stamp in the middle and not worry about where I'm stamping, because I'll be able to see. So it's a very thin. So if you put it down on your grid paper, try and get it straight, and then just pick out with your block. And then I'm going to simply ink it up. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment in the middle there. Like so. There we go. Right, I'm happy with that. Let's put this away. Now, where's my... So that's the bit that I'm going to die cut out. So I just need to get the dies. Oops. Now I want that one. Like so. And the question is, do I want the other one as well? And I think the answer is no, because I think it's not going to work. So I'm just going to stamp out, die cut that piece out. I'm going to use that as well. So let's grab my mini machine. So this is the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Did you know you can get this in boho blue now? So yesterday, when the new catalogue went live, Stampin' Up released the boho blue mini machine. It was originally available as part of Celebration, but they had a few left. So you can purchase one now. They're exactly the same cost as the white ones. There are limited numbers available. So you'll find those in my online store. So let's see, let's try and line this up. Use a bit of washi tape to make sure that it's not going to go walkabouts, which I think it still is. So let's put a piece down this end as well. Let's just try and get just going to run that through. Oops. That's it. I even had nice new plates this morning. So run that through the machine. So just simply wind it through. There's a bit of cracking noise going on, but oh heck. It's to, well, I was going to say to be expected. They're new plates, so it doesn't surprise me. So here we go. Let's take that off there and there. So that's that piece, that's all done. And I'm going to cut from the middle of this little piece here. I'm not going to worry about putting it and holding it with a piece of washi tape because it's actually in the middle. So bring that back. Well, this is a technique known as gutting. Sounds awful, I know, but hey. But it just means that no one's going to see that piece is missing, so why not make use of it? I'm just going to use this little banner. Put that through here as well. Oh, no noise this time. Oops, sorry for the shaky bit. Oh, there we go. One little banner. It's very sweet. In fact, actually, should I do another one? No, I can cut that one in half. Right. Okay. What do we have? So we have a Misty Moonlight card front. That's to go on the inside. We have some paper. We have, see if I put that that way, you're not even going to see anything. So let's maybe put that across like that. That's going to go across like that. We have the sentiment somewhere that I cut out. Okay, let's play spot the sentiment. Anyone see it? I buried it somewhere. This is silly. I think I'd put it somewhere safe, but obviously not. Got the banner. Does that mean I'm going to have to do it all again? Looks like it. Didn't get put on the back of this by mistake. Nope. Oh. Okay, right. I'll find it when I finish this. But I guess I'll just have to make another one. Heck. This is where I've kind of wish I'd done here's the one I made earlier. But hey, right. Let's try not to lose those pieces. So let's go back with the, oh dear, Misty Moonlight on there. Going to go on there, put that on there, take that off, stamp the sentiment again. That's going to go in the middle. Or as close to it as I can get. Right, that can go, that can go. Let's bring it back to the machine. Plates. Die. Washi tape. bit of a mess up, but hey, so just put that on, back on there. That one can go back on. That corner. And then through the machine. And then we should be back to where I should have been a minute ago. But hey, sorry about this, but hey, you get to see me do this all over again. Right, that's it. I am not going to use this one. Famous last words. Put that out of the way. Just use that. Right. Okay. So what have we got? We have this piece is going to go in the middle. This piece is going to go on here. That's going to go on there. Oops. That bit's going to go here, and I'm going to cut this bit in half so that we have a banner that looks like it's longer than it actually is. Sticking it out both sides. So I'm just going to cut that in half. Just use my paper snips. Need some glue. I've had this one sitting upside down, so I'm hoping that it's going to work. Just put a little bit on there. Try and keep it sort of straight, like that. I'm sure it's going to move, but hey. That one. Also need to try and make sure that they're kind of equal both ends. Do you reckon? I think that bit needs to come out slightly. More. Don't know if it's easier to pull it out than it is to push it in, but hey, it's about right. Okay, and then if I'll use my Stampin' dimensionals to actually anchor that down. So I'm going to use the larger ones. If I put, that'll anchor that down, and then that one will anchor that end down, and that one can anchor that one down. So this is going to go on the centre here, like so. I'm going to use some more dimensionals on here. Remember, the more height to make, if you make it deeper, then certainly here in the UK, you'll end up having to send it as a large letter, as it won't fit through normal standard letter size slots. Right, so that's that. I'm going to glue this on. Now I'm going to use my grid paper to make sure I get this straight. So I'm just going to centre it here. So that kind of looks like the centre there. So we've got, we've got 3 little squares either side there. And then I want to do it so that there is 3 squares either side, which that is. Trim off the excess, like so. Don't know what I did with the edge of that. looks of it. So that's that. So that's going to go on my card front. Looks like I'm making a landscape card rather than a portrait card. So that's going to go on there. Didn't make a very good job of snipping off that paper. Just need to trim it slightly, a little bit more, a bit closer. There we go. So we're going to glue this on. Like so. So we want that to be in the centre of that card front. Like that. It's not wanting to glue down. I'll go back over that in a minute with my glue eraser and take that off. Now you see, you don't see that piece that I've cut out from there, so that's fine. And I'm going to glue that to the card front. Again, trying to make sure that it's equal top, bottom, side to side. Like that. And then I've got my inside to do, and I have my envelope to do. Now I bought the Sentimental Park stamp set, so I may as well use that. So I'm going to use this for my inside and the outside. So you've got one that you can, this is like just lines, so you can use that then for the outside of the image, and then this will fill in. Rather than having to colour, you can just use the stamps to do the work for you, which is a really good idea. I don't mind colouring, in fact I quite like colouring. I think it's very therapeutic. But hey, let's see. I'm going to go that way. So that's for my inside. That's for my envelope. So that was the Misty Moonlight. So oops, she says I'm going to put her fingernails in the ink. It's not so good. Ugh. Luckily it's water based, so it will wash off. So balmy blue for the inside, and it's just a question of lining up the images and stamping. Oh dear, that's not so good. Let's see if I can. Oh yeah, I managed to fix it. The advantage of having photopolymer rather than red rubber. Right, so this is going in my card. Which is here. Okay, so that is my fourth card. So we have this one, where I have used the countryside corners here. So you can see just how that works. So that's today's, or this afternoon's, and then these are the ones from this morning. Well, I still haven't found that other piece, but hey, so it must be somewhere. So let's see now. 1, 2, 3. That one and that one. So those are the 4 cards. I don't know if they can all fit in shot or not. Probably not. And I will post photographs of these on Facebook, and of course a copy of this video will go onto YouTube, and all the cutting instructions for the kit will also be in the description on YouTube. So if you want to replicate, even you can use different colours and papers and things like that, then feel free. If there's anything here that you like and would like to order, then please get in touch. You can email me at fiona@oakfieldcrafts.com, or alternatively simply go onto my online store, which you will find at oakfieldcrafts.stampinup.net. Okay, and that's it for today. Next week it's a stamping and creating day, so that will be fun. And enjoy the coming bank holiday weekend. Obviously we've all got the coronation to look forward to. I'm not sure that I'll be sitting there and watching it the whole day, but I certainly will sit down at some point and watch a few minutes of it. And have a good bank holiday weekend. Take care. Bye.